Susie.
Episode 591. Am I being accused of something?
I know, that sounded way meaner than it meant to. But you know what? I think it's because I'm in it. When you hear about all the stories I have today,
oh no,
it might make sense.
You're sassy.
Why I'm like that. More like suspicious.
Ooh, side eye.
Yes.
That's fun.
First off, how are you?
I'm okay. All is well over here. We're slowly creeping out of our bunker.
Is that like just venturing out in the world because it's like safe to do so now?
The numbers
Or
are
is
more
this-
promising
Yes.
for sure.
Good. I thought maybe like the snow was melting and this was like
No, not yet.
a hibernation situation.
Right, it is a double whammy. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm feeling more optimistic. I don't want to be optimistic. We know what happens when we are.
Well, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't
Don't fall for it. It's a trap.
Don't fall for it. Optimism. It's a trap.
We went to a restaurant for Valentine's, but it's one of those ones where you have to be vaccinated. So I felt better about that. And we got each other tickets to see Hamilton. We're very excited.
Oh, how nice.
Yes. Well, and Lincoln, of course, because, we have no
Yeah.
privacy. But it'll be so fun.
Or is that something that you were looking for, like you've wanted to do? It's been on the bucket list?
Yeah, I want to see it. And it was coming to the Berg. And, it's super
Nice.
expensive. So it had to be like a special occasion. And
I hate that they do that.
Yeah. It's pricey.
Why does that happen? Mm-hmm. Like, really, why?
Why
There's
did they
no-
charge so much, you mean?
Yes. Here's the thing. Here's why I get mad.
You want the
It's-
arts to be inclusive?
I want the arts to be inclusive, and I don't like that just because something grows in popularity, the product itself hasn't changed.
Oh, well, that's capitalism.
The product itself has always been that play with those songs. It's always been great. Now you realize that people like it, and you're like, oh, it's great, quick, rise. I hate that bullshit.
Okay.
I understand. Yes, supply and demand. Nah, nah, nah.
Well, but counterpoint, one good thing about it is that the cast is black and people of color.
Oh, this is true.
And I do love
Damn it.
artists being paid properly. I don't know who gets that money, but hopefully they're spreading the wealth around.
Yeah, it feels like maybe.
That's the good news about it.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll allow it.
I do know that it is a beautiful musical, and I'm glad that people are seeing it. That is also good news.
I have heard people love this.
One thing before you start really is I don't know if you got the same response, but I was very surprised at how many people had dated or knew someone who also sleeps on a nest of clothes.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop it right now.
Uh-huh.
How do we have numbers on this?
Well, we got several messages about it, and I thought
Several?
nobody said I sleep on a nest. So then it was like
Uh-huh.
the old "Are men okay?" Because why are men sleeping on nests? I'm pretty sure it's just because they don't feel like buying linens and stuff.
Oh, for Pete's
You know what I
sake,
mean?
this is insane.
I don't know. That's
We need okay.
yeah. Are you a nester?
I think it was right. I was talking to Susie before we started. I was like, I think we need another segment on this show that just is like, are you okay, white man?
Yeah, and if we make
White
it a
man,
segment,
are
then
you all right?
the
Are you
jingle
okay, man?
for it will just be
Yes.
like the sad trombone.
Yes. Are men okay? Wah, wah. Just did it for us.
Next time we'll do an official one, but this time we'll just a cappella.
Just Sarah. Yeah. Because, I mean, some of the stories I have today are similar, where it's just like, at a certain, I'm like, okay, we need to revisit this nest thing. So, because I thought about it, and I myself am somebody who, when I am not taking good care of myself, when I am not and by taking good care of myself, I mean doing things to like keep my brain in a more calm, a little burp. Keep my brain in a more calm place, like yoga and meditation and getting good night's sleep on the regular, I will get a lot of anxiety around nighttime. And anybody who has a childhood history of sexual abuse can put 2 and 2 together and see why that is. Or anybody who has half a brain and knows that I have a history of that can put that together. And so I get a lot of anxiety before I go to bed, and I tend to fall asleep in not the bed places. So like chairs, couches.
True. But it does come in handy. Like when we travel together, you really are good at falling asleep wherever.
Wherever.
It's
which is so weird that because I can't fall asleep in a fucking bed.
Yeah, except in your home in
Everywhere
a bed.
except my own home bed. And so, and I have to do a lot to like make my bed feel like a safe place. Like I'm at this long-term rental. Well, not long-term. I mean, it's like whatever they call it. Like a furnished rental for like a month. Okay. I never know whether to call it short-term or long-term.
Yeah, right.
Like it's,
that is so true. It depends.
I go back and forth because every time I say long-term rental, people are like, okay,
yeah,
like a couple years?
Compared to
no.
what?
Compared to what? Compared to a hotel. It's like a furniture, but okay. Anyways. So because it doesn't feel like my bed, it doesn't feel like... I don't know. I haven't made it my own yet, and I don't know what it would involve making a bed. Like, I don't know. It just feels like a place that, like, doesn't feel safe to me. So I've fallen asleep probably 5 out of the 7 nights I've been here on the world's most uncomfortable couch. I am not kidding. They went hunting for the most uncomfortable couch and settled on this one.
What makes it uncomfortable?
Oh. I had my friend Jessie over, and she sat on it. She was like the first one to come over to the house, and she was like testing everything out, like sitting on the bed. She sat on the couch. She goes, oh, no.
Really?
Made a face like this is a joke.
Is it one of those couches that's meant for like the quote fancy living room, or what?
It might be. It looks like it's one that was definitely ordered off of Wayfair or something like that. For $300, maybe Amazon. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Bezos. Cheap furniture. And then it has the foam that it's made out of is so hard. I don't know if there's anything inside of it. Mm-hmm. And it's like I've only been there for a few days, but I've laid on the pillows enough to make some. Like now they fold in half and don't fold back the right way. They're not like down. They don't come back to their original shape. They're just like, it's like, I don't know.
It's like sleeping on Play-Doh. Where it moves, but then does not rebound.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yes. It's like I don't know what it is. It's just like the foam that I would imagine. Remember the mattresses in Thailand? This is a very specific reference. It's that.
It's foam.
It's foam, but like not high density quality.
Remember, we would like cut holes out of it to tenderize it, and I remembered like you would with meat. And I remember one time Evie's, whose English is her second language, and she would call it tenderdize. And Johnny would always say, yes, tenderdize your mattress. And, like, I didn't want to laugh because it's kind of, like, ethnocentric and a little bit racist, but it was funny.
I'm just dying at the tenderizing it that we did that. Like, that is so... I thought you were going to talk about how we cut out the shapes of wine bottles to hide the wine bottles in the mattress, then remade the bed. If that isn't the most genius, like...
I
knew I was going to be best friends with this woman for the rest of my life when we did that together.
I mean, if you're not clear on this, people, we would cut out wine bottle shaped holes in our mattress to hide booze,
as if it were a craftsman toolkit. Where you just slide out the drawer and it has the already shaped, like, this is where you put a wrench. This is where you put a screwdriver. This is where you put a bottle of wine.
and in most cases, if someone were to do that, it would be because they drink so much. But in this case, it was because we couldn't get any of the wine.
Yeah, we were like, yo, stop hoarding it all. And so if you can't beat them, join them. And so Susie and I just wanted a splash at the end of the night. Is that so wrong? So kill me.
Well, can I just say before you continue,
So sue me.
that
Oh, God.
another thing I really do love hoarding are Beta brand pants.
Ooh, yes.
Ultra comfortable dress pant, yoga pants, so you can look professional, but you can be comfortable.
Yes.
Right? Don't
Yes, that's all we
sacrifice your
want.
style. Yeah. Look cute, man. You look polished. Because everyone's going back to work now, and they are like, oopsies, I can't wear my, stretchy pants.
Oh, I have to dress from the waist down now.
The mullet outfit is not going to work.
Not going to work.
You have to wear nice clothes. So get Beta brand pants, dress pant, yoga pants. They fit really nicely. They're very comfortable and they look chic. Right now you can get 30% off your Beta brand order when you go to betabrand.com/braincandy. That's betabrand.com/braincandy for 30% off your order for a limited time. Make sure to use our special URL because it supports our show. Find out why women are buying 5 different pairs of these pants. Go to betabrand.com/braincandy for 30% off. I was accused, by the way, in an iTunes review of interrupting, quote, Sarah's trauma to do ads. Listen,
Oh, Lord. Listen.
I gotta pepper them in. I have signed a contract, and I mean sometimes she has long stories.
Right, and also you're like like human bumpers in bowling for me.
Why?
You just knock me right back where I need to be, and just like
Aw.
bink, 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 bink.
Yeah,
like
you guys.
you stay in the lane, Sarah. If I didn't gutter balls, we'd be throwing gutter balls over here. I wouldn't get any. And because of Susie, we're hitting strikes and spares.
That's the thing is, people accuse me of doing things to you that you would not even accuse me of doing.
Susie. There is nothing I would accuse you of. Like, I am not that person.
I know. Come on.
And do people? You know what? Maybe this is what happens when you win the most screwed over award. When you are the namesake of an award like that,
Right.
You just assume. See, this is
People
what's
are on
happened.
high alert.
I've been branded, and now people think that I'm getting screwed over in my day to day, and they're like seeing things that aren't there. Guys, we're good. Nobody's stealing my or interrupting my trauma and I think, honestly, when I do have moments of real trauma, you can tell
Yeah.
more than anybody, and you tend to them in the most delicate and gentle way and always make me feel comforted and supported.
Right. So can you guys please
And
make up for
validated.
that and leave a 5-star review so I do not have to
go right now and be like, I'm going to do it.
Yes. One of
gonna
our
leave a
listeners,
review.
Tara Marie, she's the one that told me about it, and she left a 5-star review, and she was like all mad about the other person, and she was like, "Not on my watch." Thank you, Tara.
I love when they stand up for us. It's so sweet.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Tenderizing mattresses, sleep. Okay.
Oh my God, that was so funny. You just cracked me up with that. The good times, good times. So what did I want to talk about? Okay, I was talking about, you said I came in here all like, what am I accusing you of something? Which I think my mind. So for about a couple years ago, I binge watched The Sopranos for a while, and I was convinced everyone around me was like,
oh yeah, you said it made you suspicious, right?
oh, I was suspicious of everyone. I had like the soundtrack or like the theme song in my head. It was too much. So maybe a similar thing is happening here because I have been on a binge of what I can only refer to. I feel like the proper name for them would be like scam culture movies and like stories about scams, like con artists.
there have been a real rash of them lately.
Yeah, they sure have. Susie, I'm obsessed.
Tell me why.
In the same way that you want to know everything about like serial killers and like what them and like who these people are and what they, I feel the same way about con artists.
Why?
I am fascinated. I haven't yet figured that. Okay. I think it's because I was thinking about this. I'm trying to think, like, why am I so obsessed with it? And why is it the only thing where I do a deep dive? I never do deep dives into things because I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
but this
yeah,
I
yeah.
care about.
Yeah.
Like, till like 2 a.m. I was Googling freaking Anna and from Inventing
yeah.
Anna.
Tell
I
me
can't get
about
over
that,
it.
because I haven't watched that series. It kind of got bad reviews.
I
Like
don't
that
know
it was
why.
flat. It wasn't exciting enough. That's what I read.
What?
I'm serious.
I think it was.
You beg to differ.
I beg to differ. I think, yeah, I beg to differ.
How the
It
heck did
was-
she get away with it? Because this woman,
She didn't
scammed
really.
people out a lot of money, right?
She did, but she didn't really. Here's the part that I'm upset about. Okay. It's very important. I think there are 2 shows out right now on Netflix that you can watch. And we could have hour-long discussions about the compare and contrast of these 2 cases and what happened in each. We have the Tinder Swindler.
Yes.
Where-
Very popular.
Very popular, where this guy scammed these women out of hundreds and thousands and is scamming a whole bunch of people.
They said in total it was $10 million.
Okay.
He's
10
good.
million. Okay. Then we have the other case with
Inventing Anna.
Inventing Anna. Her Anna Delvey.
Yeah.
You think I binge watched 8 hours of this? I know her freaking last name, but what's happened? Why are our brains
That
like
is
that?
it.
Yeah. So, the ways that they had people go after them, the ways that people prosecuted or pursued these cases, the woman got, spoiler alert, whatevs, she ended up getting 4 to 12 years.
Yeah.
He
He
gets
got
4
15
months.
or so. Oh, yeah, and then he got out, right.
And then he got out.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
that
think
part
that was...
made me feel like I was like, what the heck is happening here?
But his was in Israeli court, I think. It wasn't United States.
Okay.
I don't know if that's why, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. But it's the way that people... Gosh. So I'm just like fascinated by these cases. So the Tinder Swindler is about this guy. We have to talk about this.
It's fine.
Simon Leviev, who goes on Tinder. And it's very... I think maybe also I'm passionate about this because my mom was catfished.
Yeah. Right.
And so I'm like, don't even
One
think
degree
about
of
it.
separation.
Yeah. And he goes on Tinder, and it seems like he finds women whose Instagram photos, like the pictures that she has up, portray a life of luxury. It's very obvious that these women have money through... It just feels like such a trap because you're like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
You want to get, these women want to find somebody who matches their lifestyle.
Yeah, and
And
you
so
want to
they put up
showcase your own success
Yes!
and stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then by doing that, you then make yourself a target
Yeah, I never thought about that.
for these people. So it's like, how you portray yourself online is really, I mean, to me, that's kind of, there's so much there. What photos people choose to put up. I thought about that a lot, of how they made themselves look like the perfect marks. But then it's like then I felt like what I was doing was victim blaming.
Oh.
And then I was like, is this what was she wearing thing that I'm doing?
No, because I don't think you're blaming. You're just saying what made him target
Okay,
them.
That's good. I had a whole bunch of emotions going on.
I know
of
what
like,
you
oh
mean,
my
though,
God.
because that's a fine line, isn't it?
Yeah, because I felt like, well, gals, look at what you're, and that's kind of the thing that I said to myself, which is so not right when I was sexually assaulted when I was in Italy, walking around in like the sundress and the big old hat, and like, I was like, well, but look what you were walking in a place that
Oh, you thought you invited it.
yes. So I could feel myself kind of doing that there, and felt kind of guilty that I was, or I don't know, felt like I had to take a look at that behavior.
I think it's
or my
fair, though,
feelings about that.
to try to understand what, he was targeting and his motivations.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only fair to think about that.
Right, because it's almost like self-protection, right? You're like, oh, I don't want to, what am I putting, what do people think? And especially since I'm online dating, like I think about, like, what do people think when they see the pictures that I put up?
Yeah, because when you pick a picture, part of what you want to show is that you maybe are attractive and that you maybe have certain hobbies. Are you also trying to present a certain level of success or wealth?
Oh.
Intentionally or
No, I never thought about that.
No, I wouldn't imagine you would.
Yeah. I was like, damn, should I?
Well, but some things are implicit. Like if you're into skiing and snowboarding, that is something that's costly.
I don't have any of those pictures up there, mostly because I don't have a lot of like pictures of like, no, hard to tell what I look like, and that's I'm just looking at everybody else. Okay. I can just go on the mountain and just take a picture of somebody else and throw it up there and be like, that's me. Yeah.
Right, look at my form.
Oh, I thought your jacket was red. Yeah, I got a couple. Yeah.
But some people might be doing that intentionally.
For sure. Well, that's what it made me think about. It made me think like, okay, because one of the women when she was being interviewed talked about that. She said, I want to put up photos that make it reflect the kind of lifestyle that I want. And so, I think about my mom's Facebook and like the things that she probably had up that made her, and it's things that you don't think about, which is annoying. It's like, I love to travel and, stuff that like hobbies.
It signals, though, a certain level of financial security.
Yeah. Wow, that is really interesting.
I'll tell you what is interesting, and that is HelloFresh. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. You are right.
You can get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients, seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You can skip the old grocery store, which is hellish. And you can make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable, which is what I love. They have excellent fit and wholesome recipes, but they also have like luxurious ones if you're like, I need a little comfort food up in here.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Ones with lobster in it.
Yeah. There's a miso sesame shrimp and bacon ramen. Hello.
Hello.
I'm just saying.
Oh my God. I loved every one of those words you just threw out there.
Right? So
miso, yes,
guys,
bacon, yes, what, yes.
You will love it. And it's cheaper than a restaurant, of the same quality.
Oh,
so
way cheaper.
Yeah. Give it a try. It will help your life because it keeps you organized and you know what you're eating. You don't have to think about it. Go to HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy16 and use code BrainCandy16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy16. Use code BrainCandy16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. There you go.
So I am just obsessed with why this guy, Simon Levy, Simon.
I wish.
Simon Leviev, why he is just a regular old person now, and apparently he's getting loans and he's like finding success because he's going around telling people that he had a Netflix documentary or biopic or whatever named or made after him. And there's also a rumor out that he's in the works or like producing or something involved in some TV show where women compete to be his partner.
Yikes.
Kill me now.
That's very irresponsible because, excuse me, he clearly has no conscience.
None.
And is a pathological liar at minimum. That is very irresponsible, but wouldn't surprise me. And gross. I don't love it.
Yeah. Oh God, that it's just really. I had to ask myself, just like you said, like why am I so interested in this? So I thought about that, and I thought, well, I think it's because I have a real problem with like liars and people who like I need people to tell the truth, and I almost tell the truth too much myself, where I'm like, you don't need to admit that, Sarah. And so the fact that these people so casually, like, there was one guy I was dating a bit ago, and I came up with an excuse for why I didn't want to hang out with him. And I know he's not listening because he didn't want to listen to this, so it's fine. And this was a while back. So I like made up some excuse for like why I couldn't hang out the next time, because I wasn't prepared to tell him I wasn't interested anymore.
Okay.
And I did the next week, but I am getting anxiety right now thinking about how I made up something that wasn't. Yes.
Wow.
It's killing me. And this is like totally no victim. It's fine. Like the extent of the lie was like, oh no, I'm busy this weekend.
No one
And
else
like,
would even
fuck,
remember.
I'm not busy. No one
done that.
would remember it. Meanwhile, I have been constipated for a week because of this fabrication.
Wow, that's a very, very nice trait, though.
I guess. I don't know. It really isn't, though, because wouldn't it be nice to just be able to say that and like, and then like when I do break up with somebody, or not even break up, just like say I'm not interested, I feel like I owe them some sort of explanation that I have to remember that I don't really need to do that.
I know,
because
yeah,
I go into this
right.
planning of like, well, how much do they need to know? What would I like to know in this situation? And no, they don't even fucking care. They're like, okay, bye. And I'm like, you don't want to know?
Let me explain.
Let me explain. Yeah, it was when you said this, and it made me feel like this. I will say there was one guy that I really wanted to let him know why I didn't want to go out with him again. And it was a comment that, I talked to Susie about, but it was a comment that he made about me getting a new car. And
Did you tell
threw
him?
on. No, I didn't, but I wanted to.
Yeah.
He threw on the.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like I have to tell this story because
yeah.
it's so I was like talking. I'm like, this guy had the same car that I wanted, and so I was like, do you like what I like this car? You know, like it's a great car, and like, what do you think? And like, anything I should like, what like you do when
What's
you're
the scoop?
talking about cars. What's the scoop? And he's like, oh yeah, it's great. I like it's such a good car and blah 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 blah. It's wonderful if you can afford it.
So gross.
Now I have to get that car.
I don't understand what his motivation was.
Don't know. Like I mean,
that's true of every car.
I was already gonna get the car, right? But I just like I can't get that out of my head, and I was just like, what does he mean? What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, that's not great.
That didn't make me feel so good. So there was a part of me that wanted to be like, yeah, I was feeling it. And until you said, if you can afford it, and threw that clarifier on there.
Wait, you didn't tell him though?
No.
Yeah, you should though.
I know.
But, why?
But why? Why? Again, that's it. It's like, why? So if anything, but it's like, the thing that here, now that I think about this, I wish I had the awareness of I wish I had the ability to spot the red flags younger, so that I would be able to go on these dates, see the red flags, and then call them out on it, if only to protect future women. But now what has happened is these guys and I have gotten old enough. So now, like, when you're dating and, you're in your mid to late 30s, you can like sniff out red flags pretty fast, and that's why a lot of these guys are single. God, because I think a lot of women are like me and are like, no, sorry, that's not going to work for me. Like, there's a feeling.
What do you think the male equivalent of these red flags is about women they're dating?
Like, I heard one that's really funny that makes me laugh every time. Like not like emotional things they do, but I heard some guys say, if if I overheard this at a party, this is like things overheard in LA. I should submit this to that Instagram. It was a guy who said, yeah, if she's got one of those tapestries nailed up over her bed, red flag. And I was like,
didn't you have one at one point?
That's hilarious and accurate. I definitely did. Which is why that's so funny. Because at a time when you did not want to be dating me, I was maybe a little messy. You're just learning how to be in relationships.
What type of woman has one of those tapestries?
The same woman who probably is also a certified yoga instructor but doesn't teach.
Somebody who says namaste like all the time.
Yes, it's totally that. It's like does yoga but also might do cocaine.
Yep, got it.
This is not me, but I'm like in that Venn diagram of people with the tarp and whatever else you want to not tarp.
I like calling it a tarp. Because it is. It's like a decorative tarp.
They're the same woman that might date a guy for a little while without knowing that, like, thought that he lived in his car because, like, he's a free spirit, not knowing that he just lived in his car, period.
Got it.
I'm not wrong with any of these things.
No, you're really not.
So that is, like, I mean, that was some red flags that... But as far as, like, yeah, what is the female equivalent?
Do you think it's
to me,
if they want to commit real fast? That's what they are.
Oh, if they want to commit real fast.
Is that still yeah, okay.
Because that seems a little cuckoo crazy.
To want to commit real fast. Oh, okay. Yeah, were you surprised in the Tinder Swindler how quickly the women wanted to settle down? That shocked me. He was really careful and really, as the good con artists are, with showing her just enough in the beginning for her to really believe, for both those women, I think there were 3 of them actually, one not on camera, to really believe that he had money. I mean, if somebody picked me up in a private jet, there's no way I wouldn't believe that this guy had money. Mm-hmm. You know, it was easy when my mom was catfished because she had not met him in real life or hadn't had any of those experiences. And all I had to do was say, like, have you talked to this person face to face? And no. Have you seen him on no. You don't think that's odd? Well, and then a simple, like, photo Google reverse image search gave us all the information we needed to see that he had, like, multiple Facebooks and things like that with different names. Like, and then he did that thing where you, like, switch the first and last name. Like, they're not even fucking creative. So he's, like, low level. I'm like, you're not even good at this. Mm-hmm. Boo. And, but this guy was very elaborate. Because
this guy was very elaborate.
He did have money. He just didn't say that he got it from other women.
His dad is high up in El Al, I think that's what it's called, Airlines. What's the name
You're
of the
saying
airline?
His real dad?
Yes, his real father is, hang on, I have, like, facts pulled up about him. His real dad is in the airline business. Like, he is high up in, this guy is just a narcissist.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. So in my deep dive, I just couldn't figure out, he's the chief rabbi of El Al Airlines.
What do you mean rabbi for an airline?
It says he's the chief rabbi of the airline. Johan Hayut, yep. And he says he was also involved in his son's scam and helped him to swindle money from other people, even though he denies all claims.
Okay.
And then somebody else was like, a rabbi of an airline? So apparently you weren't the only one to...
Yeah, that's a new one for me.
Apparently El Al does have its own rabbi. So...
All right.
Yeah.
Family business.
Yeah.
Scamming.
I looked up, because I couldn't even in my therapist's brain think about what I mean, I get the financial incentives, but the fact that you don't care about what you're doing. I mean, this guy, this Simon Leviev guy, he had a whole like con that he ran where he would somehow, so they had to actually stage this. He would send photos of he had like a guy who would follow him around that was like his bodyguard. And he would send photos of how like his bodyguard beaten up and him bloody. And he would send them and say, like, I have enemies after me, and these people are trying to get money, and I had to cancel my credit cards, blah, blah, blah. He had photos of, like, him in the hospital, and so it was, like, all very elaborate that he had to put this together. It wasn't like it's on the fly. Like, this is so premeditated.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that was very different to me about the two documentaries, or the two, not documentaries, I guess that Inventing Anna was more like a I don't know, based on a true story.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of the intention behind it. You know, she, according to her, and kind of what it really felt like to me in the story, was she really believed that she was going to start this artist collective, and she was getting these investors to really do something and to start. She wasn't like trying to scam individuals out of money. The situation where she scammed, or like it says, where she like swindled her friend out of money, was like she left an unpaid hotel bill and didn't put a credit card down, and left the friend to take care of the tab, which the credit card company ended up just wiping, like getting rid of, which is like, it just feels like the woman got all of the punishment, and we are kind of like this guy is being celebrated online.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's doubly a shame, because what we should be celebrating is how awesome Noom is.
There you go. There's something that could be celebrated. Celebrate you. Celebrate making healthy changes that are in line with your goals.
Yeah, right? Noom is a system that will provide psychology-based approach to getting healthier, to reaching those goals. If you want to lose weight, or you want to work out more, or you want to just change some habits, they have a cognitive behavioral therapy approach to the way that you handle that stuff. And they just want to give you the knowledge and wisdom you need to make informed choices, which I find very empowering, and reach your goals. Yeah, man. I've heard rave reviews. I've had a great experience with it. And they have a deal for you guys. Start building better habits for healthier long-term results. Sign up for your trial at Noom.com/braincandy. That's NOOM.com/braincandy. I saw some people in Brain Candy Crush were using it and having good luck. So there you go.
Yes. Yeah, so in my wanting to explore, like, what the heck makes somebody like this, I even Googled, like, I was, like, looking up, like what are there articles out there on, like, what makes a con man person, a con artist? And it really, I don't even know why I didn't know this already, but it all just boils down to, like, narcissism and low levels of empathy. But in my search to find answers for that, I found a really interesting article that was on Vice, and it's from 2019 by this woman, Allie Jones, and it's called "Why Do Reality Stars Lie on Camera?"
Okay.
It was totally interesting because there were some things of this, some parts about this that I didn't really think about, that I think we talk about, but she put some, like, I don't know, a nice bow on, I guess, or says like that. Even when we participate in the show, in a way, it does this thing to your mind where it feels not real.
Yeah.
She says sometimes when people are taking part in a show, they themselves see it as being not real, what they're actually taking part in. It says that detaches them a little bit from the normal rules of social engagement. So they start to think that the normal rules don't necessarily apply because they're doing it in the context of a TV show. And that can sometimes liberate people from the conscience that the rest of us might feel.
That's how I try to describe what happened with the Tanya situation on the ruins. And I've talked about that at length, but the part that's relevant here is just how what was happening with her on the show was totally inappropriate. And in, quote, real life, I think you and I both would have been like, WTF, knock it off.
Absolutely.
But there's a different set of permissions that I noticed, especially on that season, that just made it feel like, no, that's just what we're doing here. This is normal.
Yeah, it felt very... that's where I go back to, again, it's the title reality TV that really is confusing, and we gotta change because it's so not that. It is this other world. And, the article goes on to talk about how, another theory, which is obviously accurate, is that there are more narcissists on reality TV shows.
Yeah, obviously.
And that is obvious. I mean, admittedly, I would say, I've since come a long way and learned a little bit, but I would rate my levels of narcissism as higher than average.
I mean, if the currency of value is attention, then, it's going to attract people that like that.
Right.
If your value is about how much attention you get.
That makes sense. So it's like the people who are, it's just the narcissistic cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
And I think people that don't fit into that, leave quickly. They don't continue to do it. Because
they feel really uncomfortable in that environment. And it's not, that's very true. And so you should definitely be taking a look at anybody who's there for...
what was she saying, though, that we lie about? Or is she saying, there's video footage, so why did you lie? Okay.
That's one of the things that's the most interesting is that it stands out on reality television how people lie in situations that can absolutely be... there's evidence to show that you're lying. We can roll the tape. In the same season, oftentimes it's around relationships, it's around coping strategies and substance use, and it's around personal success. So things like in the article they had referenced a perfume line. I think they were talking about Vanderpump Rules in this. And this woman was like, I am working hard on my perfume line. And she was like taking pictures. There were photos of her all over from, I don't know, vacation or something. And so it's like, we know you're not because we can see you. And that there's this, I don't know, disconnect from reality and the emphasis on fame, like the desire for fame above all costs. So that becomes, and because really, what is lying? Why do we lie? Why do we do anything? We do it as a form of self-protection, right? To keep us safe, whether that's maintain our social status, keep us safe from somebody else getting upset, whatever it may be. So your brain is going to naturally, almost triage the things that what's most important here. And if those people's brains have decided that the thing that is most important above all else is you being famous and you, I don't know, being seen as this, that, or the other, then I think it will just lie to make that match. I just don't understand pathological. I can't. It's something I really can't understand. I try. But the pathological lying is almost in a different category.
Right. Well, they say that's about how somebody with absolutely no self-esteem tries to Like everything they do, they think is the wrong thing. So if they had soup for dinner, they'll say they had steak because steak is better or something. You know, they lie about the most ridiculous things.
That makes total sense. Okay. Okay. Gosh, Susie being the therapist again.
No, that's
Love
just
it.
what I read. That like,
it's great.
They just think they're never enough, so they have to construct a narrative that would make them enough to whoever they're talking to.
That is a little bit what it felt like with Inventing Anna.
Really?
Yes. That she didn't believe that she was enough. That, like, where she came from wasn't enough for her.
The part that I don't get, though, is why she, at least to my knowledge, did not ever demonstrate remorse.
She didn't demonstrate remorse because I don't think she had... I mean, she definitely stole from the hotels. So she stayed at multiple hotels without ever paying the bill.
But even if it weren't financial.
Meanwhile, I stay in my hotel room till 11:02, and I get a goddamn phone call from the front desk like, "Are you going to check out?" I'm like, "Listen."
Yeah. Sarah can't even get an early checkout.
She got 14 days at the W or whatever. Give me a couple minutes to gather my belongings.
But like
Hyatt
even
Embassy
if
Suites or whatever.
No, even if she hadn't stolen any money or ripped anyone off financially, why didn't she even feel bad just for being dishonest about everything?
Right. Well, I think it's that your brain telling you she's lied for so long, or maybe if we change the word lied to falsified her how she portrayed herself to the world.
Why are we changing that?
Because lie has such like a negative connotation that feels like there was a intention that was bad behind it. But if she's starting, like they kind of hinted, there was a little bit in there about how when she was younger, she just became really obsessed with clothes and obsessed with status when she was like 12. And
why do you feel bad for this hooker?
I don't feel bad for her. I just feel bad. I just feel like the punishment doesn't, that men get off with this and they like get like a little slap on the wrist, and the women become like she was a what do they call that? Like not an errant, like a socialite. Mm-hmm. She was just a wannabe socialite, and and then I just feel like the way they're both. I consumed it different, and I was aware of that, and maybe that's me. I'm interested to see what you guys say about this, what you listeners have to say about if like you see the two of those, watch those two, and
because I didn't see it.
It felt different. It felt like we have a different, and in a way I was still looking at the women in the story as like, well, you guys got yourself into this. I did not think about that with the men in the stories with Hannah.
But whenever I would watch the trial coverage or read about
ridiculous.
the trial.
What the hell? Yeah.
Her affect was so flat. Like there was just nobody in there. I'm always just like, anytime I feel like, are you a person? Where are you? Where's your soul? Then I just have no sympathy.
Yeah. I don't have any, I don't have sympathy. I don't have sympathy for her. And I do think that she got what she deserved. I just think, what I really think is that both of them didn't get enough time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the thing that makes me mad. The thing that makes me mad is that these people who are like, scamming people out of like $1 million jets are getting 5 months in jail, but the woman who didn't pay her car registration and then gets pulled over for it, and then like all this stuff, and then that she's getting in more trouble and has the big huge court fine. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
the system is fucked up. Mm-hmm. And these cases are just other highlights of it. And I also think that scam culture and the futures of like people, that ain't going anywhere. They're just going to get better and more elaborate. And like, who the fuck knows? We're going to need to, I don't know. It just seems, it's scary out there.
Well, I mean, I felt the same way about the Elizabeth Holmes trial and how, you know, I think she deserves to be punished or have consequences, go to jail, whatever. But I just think it's funny that...
Remind me of the Elizabeth Holmes trial?
She's the one that had the Theranos or whatever, the...
oh, right, the cure-all.
Tech company with the blood. And, you know, she was dishonest and it was dangerous because people's health could have been affected. But of all the tech, you know, moguls, of course it's the one woman who actually gets in trouble for being dishonest, and the guys are just failing up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what it feels like, is that these guys are failing up. Like the man who was Anna's lawyer and was securing, like looking to get all of the loans, who basically worked as like
an accomplice.
Yeah. He ends up getting promoted in his law firm. He totally fell up. And she's in jail.
Right.
Or was, until February 11th last year.
Yeah, the punishments aren't evenly distributed or fairly.
Not at all. And that it's just like nothing makes sense. And it makes me mad. And then I go online and then I read how an Instagram, whatever they're fucking called, influencer is, what did the title of this article say? Instagrammer eats raw meat for 80 days in a quest to see if he'll survive. And I'm just like, are you okay, man? I can't.
So this isn't Jordan Peterson. This is someone else?
No, this is some other stupid fucking idiot. Susie, this guy, I don't know why he would do this. He was trying to, like, prove something. He's in January 31st, he was on day 80 of eating this. Only raw meat diet from Whole Foods. And he says, I'm going to eat raw meat from Whole Foods every day until I die from bacteria. Why on earth would you? You're so insane. He's eaten everything from a pound of raw minced bison to raw cow brains, and he washes the meal down with with milk or a pint of raw eggs.
Oh man,
Susie, why? I'm actually gonna throw up if I look at this and read this.
I'm sure that he was influenced by the Jordan Peterson thing. He's I don't know what you'd want to call him. Public intellectual, but I use that loosely, who's real popular with the incels.
Oh, God. This is what this guy feels like.
Like, he wants men's rights, basically. He's fighting for men's rights.
God.
The oppressed men of the world.
Oh. Yeah. So he claims that he was on a all plant-based diet and felt sick.
Okay.
And so he started instead having steak and eggs for breakfast instead of bagels and smoothies. And he felt full for the day. He felt stable. He wasn't getting dizzy from a carb crash. And he said his pain started to go away. And so, I don't know, in another story of doing too much, he went overboard and now is only eating fucking that. I mean, whatever happens to this guy, fine. I have
Darwin
no
Awards.
Yeah, let him.
Wonder how he's feeling right now.
Maybe sick.
Maybe constipated.
And if not, oh God,
not a lot of fiber in there.
No, and there's like a bunch of stuff that's not good if you eat too much protein. Like it's like your body doesn't know what to do with it. It's not good. So, anyways, that's what's going on in the world.
It isn't.
People are
not encouraging,
idiots.
Is it?
Yeah, and just like definitely watch those documentaries. They're so good.
Somebody said Tinder
Swindler
Swindler should be the Doc Club choice. What do you think?
I think that would be a great pick.
Okay.
There's a lot to talk. Can we just take a moment to talk about Susie's most excellent documentary pick that might be in my top 5 documentaries of all time?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
It had everything.
Unbelievable.
Everything. If you were on the scale of emotions and you put like super happy and thrilled for like the happiest ever on one side, and then just like so sad your heart hurts on the other side, got both of those and everything in the middle. Mm-hmm. I cried through the whole thing, but for different reasons. Right?
It's very emotional.
Inside, hidden, is the most adorable love story.
Yeah,
of
right.
a couple that is truly in love. And I'm like, God, I want what they have. That, the way he looks at her, the way she talks about him, and that smile, she loves him. It was so good.
I forget if you guys said what movie it was. It's called The Rescue.
I have not.
Oh my God. It's called The Rescue. It's on Disney Plus. The Thai children who got trapped in the cave and then they had to be rescued. But I had heard about it on NPR a few months ago, and the filmmakers talked about how they got that footage that made it so amazing. And I was like, I got to see this. And then when I watched it, I was like, holy
How
crow.
did they get that footage?
Well, the Thai Navy SEALs had facilitated the filming of all of it with the, I don't know, GoPros or whatever they were. But then they just had them, the Navy SEALs. And so the filmmaker had to go there and persuade them to give them that footage. And then they couldn't believe how much there was. They thought maybe they'd get an hour or two, like not hundreds of hours.
No, they just had those GoPros running. Yes.
Yeah,
like
so that was a miracle.
Challenge style. Mm-hmm. Wow, that was some of the best footage. What an incredible story. If that also isn't a lesson on don't give up on your hobbies, I don't know what is.
It really is.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The people who, I don't want to spoil it for people, but
yeah, don't spoil it.
You have to see it because I don't think the general population knows about how this rescue happened.
Yeah, I certainly was not aware.
And this is what we do. We're up on the news.
Yeah, man.
We did not know. It was so beautiful and so amazing, and so
it's a must watch.
It's a must watch.
Let's wind it down.
Oh, let's wind it down. Okay.
That was really abrupt. I'm so sorry.
I was just about to ask, do we have time for another? And then
save it.
I gotta save it. All right.
Yeah.
We talked about what makes a liar. Turns out they're just a bunch of narcissists.
And if you have a stiff mattress, just poke some holes in it.
Oh my God.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. Yeah. I don't even think I finished up my point. My brain was everywhere today. I don't think I finished up my point about the sleeping on beds and nest thing, and how I think that it might be some trauma that maybe these guys have experienced that makes them not want to sleep in a bed. That was what I wanted to say.
Okay, that's fine, but I'm starting to feel like the white male definition of trauma is pretty low.
Yeah, because they're not getting the help that they need, and so we're seeing weird symptoms. Well, not weird. There are serious consequences, like fucking domestic violence and school shootings.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack with it that we couldn't do in a wind down situation. But
Sarah throws in domestic violence and school shootings during the wind down. I'm sure. God.
Right, but we'll continue because that's all we do is like talk about what's wrong with men. So
yes, yeah, and. If anybody says that their enemies are after them and they need $10,000,
red flag.
You need to be like, do you also have a tapestry hanging on your wall?
What are your thoughts on yoga and cocaine?
I mean, not at the same time.
Guys, you have to leave me a 5-star review, specifically me,
Specifically Susie.
Because I'm not going to sleep tonight knowing that somebody is like accusing me of interrupting
Susie.
Me. I mean, I don't want to point fingers here.
That's the true irony of it. That
like,
you
really?
Are getting accused. Every one of those reviews should say 5 stars, love the show, wish Sarah would stop interrupting so much.
This poor girl just wanted to hear about your trauma, and I wanted to talk about Noom or something.
Oh my God, Sus, you are so funny. I love you. I give you 5 stars. I love it.
I love you. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.